Ever been pulled over late at night suspected to be under the influence of alcohol and asked to provide a breath sample? Well, do you have to? Does the law in New Jersey require that you provide a breath sample if you're suspected of driving under the influence? Well, over the next few minutes, I'm going to explain the law in New Jersey with regard to breath test machines and what your rights are when you're asked to provide a breath sample. Hi, I'm Daniel M. Rosenberg. I'm a criminal defense attorney who handles a lot of DUI matters, and I create these free videos to provide information and education to people charged with DUI and criminal offenses so that they can understand and know their rights. So let's first talk about what a breath machine is. It is commonly referred to as a breathalyzer, which is a specific type of machine that is no longer used in the state of New Jersey. New Jersey currently uses a device called an alcotest. And this is a machine that you provide a breath sample into, and it does an analysis to determine what your blood alcohol content is. And this is utilized to determine whether or not you're under the influence of alcohol when you're operating a motor vehicle. So even though New Jersey has this alcotest machine that's certified by the Supreme Court of New Jersey, the question remains, do you have a legal obligation to provide a sample if asked? Well, the answer in the state of New Jersey is yes, you do. This is something called implied consent. I have another video where I do a deeper dive into what implied consent is. But essentially, what New Jersey says is if you're going to be operating a motor vehicle on the roadways in New Jersey, then you are giving your consent that if there is a reasonable suspicion that you're under the influence of alcohol, that you will provide a breath sample voluntarily. If there is a legal justification for law enforcement to ask you to provide a breath sample and you refuse, that is a separate charge called refusal to submit to a breath test. And the potential fines and consequences associated with a refusal conviction are just as significant, if not more so, than a conviction of an actual DUI. Now, the next question becomes, okay, well, if I have to provide a breath sample, do I have to comply with any other testing, such as a blood test or a urine test? And the short answer is no, you do not. You are required to provide a breath sample. You are not required to provide blood or urine. If you are asked to provide blood or urine, you have to voluntarily consent to that. So oftentimes this is a very confusing process because in one breath, pun intended, you're asked to provide a breath sample. In the next breath, you're not required to provide blood or urine. You're also read your Miranda rights and advised that you don't have to provide any information. You can invoke your right to remain silent. But they're also going to ask you questions like how much you had to drink that night, and they're expecting you to answer those questions. So what's the takeaway from this? The takeaway is you absolutely need to know your rights when it comes to driving under the influence in the state of New Jersey. And that's because you may think, I don't have to provide a breath sample. I don't have to provide a statement. I can't be compelled to do anything. Well, the harsh reality is you are compelled to provide a breath sample, and there are significant consequences if you don't. But you're not required to provide blood or urine, and you're absolutely not required to provide information beyond what you're required to do so under the law. So you need to know what your rights are and what the law is. So if you or someone you know has been charged with DUI in the state of New Jersey or refusal to provide a breath sample in the state of New Jersey, you need representation. The real question is what kind of representation? As a criminal defense attorney that regularly handles DUIs, please feel free to contact our office with any questions. We can assess your situation, give you a free consultation, and provide a defense strategy free of charge. We are criminal trial attorneys. We have your back. That's what we do.